Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm glad that you are here with me today, if you are here live or on the replay. The title of today's subject is Are You Stumped? Because I've been reading this on some of the forums lately that we voice pros get stumped from time to time. And today's talk will not solve all your problems, but I think that if people who train voices knew a little something about brains, just a tiny bit, we would be stumped less often. If we have an understanding of how our clients' brains were working, we would be able to help them more effectively. Ergo, today we're going to talk about brains. If you know me at all, you know that brains are one of my very favorite subjects, and I love turning neuroscience information from actual researchers, not me, into applications that can be used effectively by voice teachers and coaches. So sometimes we are stumped by students who can't feel the beat under a song, or they can't subdivide the rhythms, or sometimes a student can't match pitch, or they can execute certain skills ascending but not descending on the scale. Or something that seems like the same to us, but is obviously very different to them. So it can be very confounding. Am I right? Very confounding. As a voice teacher or coach, you're then left to figure out how to solve this situation, because whatever the thing is, it's holding your client back from being able to sing with joy and with freedom. And that's what they want. And that is why they are in your studio. So you want to help. And often you just don't know what to do. So I hope to offer a little insight today, maybe give you a tool or two that you can use with this confounding student. So I hope you'll stay with me. In just a minute, I'm going to give you some information and a tool that will help you with these students who can stump you. So I also have a good freebie today, so stay tuned. I am Meredith Colby. I am the author of Money Notes: How to Sing High, Loud, Healthy, and Forever. I teach professional development classes for voice teachers and coaches in neurovocal for popular styles, which is something that I introduce in my book. So I'm done designing it for now. Designing Neurovocal Teacher Training 2.0. And if you are on my mail list and I'm in your contacts so that you will see my emails, you will be the first to know when registration page is available. That's my project for this week, my friends, is to get that registration page with all the information on it up so that you can look at it and you will be excited to join me. If you're on my mailing list, you'll get a hefty pre-sale discount. So go to meredithcolby.com to the contact page and sign up for my email list if you're not already on it. I also teach privately, just FYI, in case you were wondering. So if you would like to try a little brain science-based voice work one-on-one with me, my specialty is popular styles, let us be clear. You can schedule directly with me via my site. Is that it? There it is, meredithcolby.com. Today, as always, I am going to invite you to participate. Throw out your questions, throw out your thoughts on the replay, on YouTube, now, whatever. I love to hear what you have to say. So, and of course, and when you do the hearts and the thumbs and stuff like that, that helps me with Facebook. So, and on YouTube, if you like and follow, that helps me a ton. So I love when you do that for me. I appreciate it very much. Today, my freebie is a link to an article that is actually a section of my book, which is called This Is Your Body Singing. So if you put my brain, this is not my favorite trigger I've ever made, to be honest with you, because underscores can be tricky, but it is my underscore brain in the chat, and then the Neurovocal bot will send you a link, and you can click the link, and it will take you right to that article that is a section of my book. So you can appreciate my author talents. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, find a link in the comments below. Okay, now let us talk about brains. Singing is a remarkably complex activity. neurologically. It recruits areas of the brain for language, for speech, for listening, for measuring, judging, hearing, feeling, for emotion, for memory, for motor skills, and more. And wait, there's more. And just FYI, your brain does all that stuff while it is also keeping you standing and balancing, gesturing with your hands, keeps your heart beating and your lungs breathing. I think that if there was one thing that voice teachers and coaches knew about brain science, that would be that would help them in instances of being stumped by clients. That is the thing I wish everybody could keep in mind, which is because it feels easy to you, but neurologically, singing is a very complex activity. If singing's natural to you, it feels like one thing, one unified whole, right? And when it's working well, as it does often, it does function as a cohesive whole. But when you're doing that one thing, singing, you are actually doing many, many things. And you are doing them with precision. And you are doing them with intention. You're controlling and balancing all these disparate skills that are needed and the attention that's required to create singing. So this is no small neurological feat, my friends. This is not, it's not a small feat for you, and it is certainly not a small feat for your students. Hello, Ellie. So I'm going to start today with a story because I like to tell a story. I know you know that. When my daughter was just a little tyke, my husband took her to the park to teach her how to hit a ball with a bat. And she had this huge bat, and he had this big wiffle ball, the whole thing weighed almost nothing because she was like 4. And so he took her to the park, and he's throwing this big ball at this big bat and she's not having a lot of luck. And this guy walks up. Enter nice guy offering advice. So the nice guy comes up. It turns out he's a softball coach, and he asks if he can help, and my husband, of course, steps aside. So he tells my little tyke of a daughter, he says, just hold the bat. Hold it really strong and really still. He gets on his knees about 3 feet from her. Okay, maybe not 3 feet, but very close. Very close. Less than 2 meters, so very close. And he takes the giant ball and he throws it at the bat. And she's just holding the bat. And he, boop, throws it at the bat. He made the ball hit the bat. This is my point. He made the ball hit the bat. And then he advised my husband to practice that. And he said, the swinging of the bat can come later. So whether this guy knew what a genius he was or not doesn't really matter. He was a genius. When he threw the ball at the bat, he was doing a number of really important things to lay a foundation for the skill of hitting a small, moving ball with what is essentially a stick. It is a stick that has a shape, but still a stick. So here's what he did. I've thought about this a lot. First of all, he made it emotionally safe for my student. And this isn't how I was going to talk about this, but I'm going to. When our people come to us, especially if they have some awareness that they have a challenge, they're being very courageous. They are not sure that they are going to be emotionally safe. So it's really important for us to create an environment, create a situation where our new client is confident that they will be emotionally safe. So that because that's what you need in order to learn, right? You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be courageous. And if you're not feeling safe, you're not going to have the confidence to take that step and to be courageous. It's a big deal. So that's the first thing we have to do. Well, I'm still talking about the guy, the softball coach. Okay, then the second thing that he did, throwing the ball at the bat let my daughter let her brain, she didn't know she was doing this, but her brain was doing this. It was tracking that ball's trajectory and speed, the basic physics of what was happening. Her brain was kind of doing the math as she observed this happening. So that's really important too. Can we break something down for our students in that way? Can we allow them to do less physically, fewer motor skills, more brain work? So then, feeling the physical sensation of the bat hitting the ball showed her brain what to anticipate. And so she anticipated this motor response. If you have been listening to myself at all recently, you know I like to talk about one of the main things that brains do, they are made to do, not just our brains, all the brains are made to predict. And so if we can teach our brain how to predict for a particular response, in this case, a motor response, then yay, we're helping our brain do what it likes to do, what it's made to do, which is predict for the next thing, as opposed to respond to. It's predict for rather than respond to. Another thing this coach did is he made the environment only as structured as it needed to be in order for the initial success to occur. So again, we voice teachers tend to bundle it together and think we're dealing with one thing. And we need to break it down so that, and see that it is not one thing, see that it is a whole lot of things, and allow for an initial success. So that initial success gives the person the confidence. Confidence. We can live with confidence. Gives them the confidence to take the next step, right? And expand on that skill set. So what might this look like in the studio, right? I've been kind of doing that, but I'm going to be more focused now. Now I'm going to be more focused. Okay, and again, I'm going to say if you want today's freebie, a section from my book, Money Notes, called This Is Your Body Singing, get that by putting my_brain in the chat, and it will give that to you. If you're watching on YouTube, you will find it in the description below. Okay, now, the most important, or if you're watching on another group, you have to go to my page. You have to go to my page, meredithcolby.neurovocal on Facebook. Okay. The most important thing about learning complex skills is breaking them down. What is the simplest component of this activity, which I just said? So this is a very powerful skill to have if you are a voice professional, from a learning perspective, from a brain science perspective. Simplify the task, lighten the cognitive load. This may not be something you do naturally. You yourself may have to increase your ability in this area. So for instance, let us use a for instance, okay? I think we have probably all had that student who can't seem to figure out when to come in. He or she, or if we teach them the intro to the tune and they come in at the beginning, and then there's like a 4-bar break where they're not singing, and then they can't come back in because they can't. They just don't know how to do that. Anybody? Kind of feel like that's fairly common. So in this case, how can we bring the ball to the bat? So let's think about what's involved, okay? And by the way, these are things that I came up with, but if you think of something else, I want to hear it. Feel free to comment on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever. Let me know what you think, okay? So the first thing, if I had this person, I was thinking, let's break this down neurologically. It is clear that this person is not feeling the beat. When they come in at the intro, it's because they recognize the little melodic structure, but they're not really feeling the beat because as soon as they stop singing, they aren't feeling the beat anymore. So what are we going to do? Couple things we could do. We can my personal favorite is to externalize that beat without singing. Take away the singing, because that is a complex skill. So let's just listen. Also a complex thing, by the way. Let's just listen and let's feel the beat in our body. Now, some teachers like to have people clap or hit things. I personally am a huge fan of walking or marching, because once you get the rhythm in that your whole body with the balancing that it requires to walk or march, it's kind of hard to change it. You have to be kind of intentional about making it faster or slower. So can they listen to the song, really listen to the song and feel the beat in their body, okay? So I would say, and let's do that a few times. More than once, more than 8 measures. Let's do it, right? Until the person goes, oh yeah, I get this. I am feeling this in my body. Right on. Okay. So now, I had a slide for that. Okay. So now, another thing we're going to do is, so as I'm watching this person, here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that when she stops singing, she kind of stops having a sense that the beat is continuing. She sings that first A section, and then she has to wait before there's a turnaround, right? And then she kind of just stops. Like for her, the whole song has stopped because she stopped singing. Anybody? Anybody? So now we say, hey, student, let's get a sense of feeling the beat through time. Let's get a sense of the continuing nature of this beat. Let's understand that it starts at the beginning and it keeps going all the way to the end. Okay? Or just beginning, end, whatever. Blocks, however you want to think about the music. Anyway, but it keeps going. And so now she has an awareness of that. And we're going to be really conscious of that. We might, from the outside, it might look exactly the same as the last thing we did when we were just embodying the beat. It might look exactly the same to you, the instructor, but if you are coaching her to hold the intention, right? So intention's a big deal. Intention guides let me just say it guides the choices that you're making, okay? Or where your attention goes. So now this person is thinking, oh yeah, I can feel the beat from the very beginning of the song. It doesn't change. It keeps going all the way through the song. It keeps going when I'm hearing the saxophone solo. It keeps going when I'm not singing. It keeps going, which leads us to our next thing. Okay, so we're breaking it down. And now let's say, you know what, student, client, let us understand that what you just did is a sense of continuity of the music. That is one of the hallmarks of a musical piece or a song, is that it has a sense of continuity through time, sound through time. So the song doesn't stop just because you stop singing, because the melody isn't there. The song keeps going. So now the student goes, oh, wow, I never thought about that. But now that you say it, and now you can actually physically see that she is no longer checking out when she's not singing. You can literally see this brain activity happening. And by the way, this isn't necessarily happening in half an hour. This is happening over time. But so now you can start to see, oh, I can see in her face that she's still connected to the sounds that she's hearing, even though she's not singing. She has a sense of herself as a part of the greater whole. Wow. Okay, if you did that with this particular student, you have just given her the gift of a lifetime. Just that, just as far as we've gotten. Okay, so now we've done that. Let's try, and look at that. I make these nice things and then I don't use them. Just can't trust me with nice things. Okay, and now we're going to initiate a motor response. What is a motor response? Singing. We're going to sing. We're going to try to sing. So she has the sense of the beat in her body. She has a sense that the beat continues, that feeling is going to move all the way through the song, that there's a sense of continuity of sound through time, and that she as the melody instrument is part of that continuity. And now we're going to bring in the motor response of singing. Now we are, after all of that. So now, because now that motor response of singing is based on something very different than it was based on before your work with this person. Oh, I so wish somebody was here with me so they would say yes. They get it. I want you to understand this. I mean, because that's the whole thing, right? That's the big thing, is that now her whole understanding. Oh, hi, Rita. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Rita. Her whole understanding of this, whether we're talking about that person who we've all had, or the pitch challenged person, or the person who, read this in a forum. This gal said, I have a student who can hear half steps when they are ascending, but not descending. She could not make descending half steps. That, like, these little things that are just like, as someone who's a fairly natural singer, Ellie, Rita, me, whoever else is watching this, we're like, I don't get it. Like, why is that? We have to teach ourselves to get that. Not in its whole, not in its neurological whole, but in its functional parts, so that we can break it down and empower this singer to have singing in her life and experience that joy. That's why she's there in our studio. So an example of breaking something down, something you consider, this is an example, right, of breaking something down that you consider a unified action. So you are creating new skills for this person. Now, first of all, I do want to say to you, before we wrap it up, I'm trying to be more conscious of time here, but before we wrap it up, I do want to say that you're already doing this. You have done this hundreds of times. So for instance, when you are working with a student and they are having a problem with a particular phrase, right? You might do one of these voice teacher magical things that you do by going, okay, we're going to take out all the words. We're just going to do the whole thing on a vowel, or we're going to do the whole thing on a lip trill. Or you might say, you are psyching yourself out about the high note in this, so we're going to move the key down while we learn, and then we'll move it back up later. Or you might break up a phrase, right? We're going to do this half, and then we're going to do that half. You do this kind of thing all the time. You dismantle bits of singing all the time. You kind of already know how to do this thing that you do where you free up their mental real estate, so to speak, so that they can actually focus on something specific that you have asked them, that they need help with. And so that they can focus on that, get confidence with it, get accuracy with it, and then put things back together. So you already do this. This is just a different kind of application, and it's a little bit, I don't know. You have to think a little bit more mechanistically, I guess, maybe. Or I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Whatever. But anyway, the point is, you already do this. This is just another way to do it and sort of another application. So anyway, thank you. Oh, look at that. That was the point I wanted to make. Repetition is your friend. When we do these things, do them again and again and again and again. The example that I gave could happen over a month, and then you keep doing it. You keep doing it because that's what has to happen. They have to keep doing it when they're not with you. Radical, I know. Because repetition is your friend. So I am Meredith Colby. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I can't wait to hear your comments and thoughts about this going forward. So anyway, tell me what happens. Okay, I have to share this because I love Rita so much more gold. I always learn new ways of doing things. Thank you, Rita, and thank you for being supportive, and I'm glad that you were here. I'm always glad you're here. So have a great week, y'all. Bye-bye.